Unbiased, fan-friendly Syracuse sports coverage on WSKO Syracuse. A Cumulus media station, the voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. We've got Josh Boehm in the house, as we usually do. Hello,
Hey,
Josh.
hey.
Good morning.
How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well. How are you, my friend?
Oh, couldn't be better.
I'm glad to hear it. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We've got a couple of local teams going to the state championships in their in their respective sports. I know West Hill Soccer, one of them. Shout out Charlie Demore, guest on this show, the goalie that hadn't allowed a goal through like 13 games. And then as soon as I booked the interview, he gives up 3. But hey, great season this year for Charlie. First team all CNY.
Going to states.
Going to states. So we'll talk about all the high school stuff going on later in the show. But at 11:05, just a few minutes from now, we've got a special guest, James Zuba, deputy editor of noonsmagician.com. That's the full name. Troy Noons is an absolute magician. The SB Nation site for Syracuse athletics. Deputy editor. I was just reading through his takeaways from Syracuse basketball's recent win over Canisius. They won 89-77. It feels nice to be able to talk about SU basketball again. We've been all in on college basketball early in the season. We've been watching the games. We've been placing a wager or two on the games, and it's great that college basketball is back, and it's great that we have an SU team to talk about that might be good.
Could be.
They could be good. Offense has looked really good during stretches over the first 2 games. 3-point shooting in the first game, not great. A lot better in the win over Canisius. They shot like 38% from behind the arc in that one. So I'm excited, man. We've got Colgate coming up next Tuesday.
Who couldn't be excited for Colgate?
I can't believe I'm saying this. It's kind of a must-win game because Colgate has beat us the past 2 years. We cannot lose 3 straight to Colgate.
No, you need to really take Colgate out behind the
woodshed.
The woodshed.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm stuttering already.
We're 2 minutes into the show. Josh can't get a sentence out. So we have to beat Colgate. Colgate has beaten us 2 years in a row. We've got them coming up next Tuesday, and then the following Monday, it all starts. We're going to Maui. We got Tennessee the following Monday.
What a fun tourney.
Oh, did you look at the field for Maui?
Yeah.
You got Tennessee, Gonzaga, UCLA, I think. It's just a ridiculous field.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I can get up the rest of the field right now. But
what a great early test for this team. Just to give you a nice litmus test of, what your expectations should be in the ACC this year.
Yeah, here are the teams that SU will potentially be facing in Maui, given a deep run.
Yep.
Kansas, Tennessee, Purdue, Marquette, Gonzaga, UCLA.
Those teams are pretty good, Mark.
Those are some pretty good basketball teams, Josh. We've got number 1 team in the country, Kansas. Purdue, who is a perennial 1 seed in the tournament. Tennessee, who's like 9th in the country right now.
Yep.
Purdue's 3rd, by the way. I didn't even mention that. They're 3rd. They were 3rd in the country.
Edey's still there.
Yes, yeah. Zach Edey is still there. He's still very large. A very, very large man. Marquette, one of the darlings of the Big East last year. They had a really good season in that conference. Yeah. Gonzaga, perennial 1 seed, and UCLA, who have been down in recent years, but you never know when UCLA basketball is going to make a comeback. It always feels inevitable that UCLA basketball is going to be back because it's UCLA.
They're just legacy.
They won 86 titles under John Wooden.
I think
so,
that's right.
Yeah, I think that's the number. 86. Yeah, that seems about right. So we can talk all about that with James, and we're going to do that right after this break. So come back. James Zuba, deputy editor of Noon's Magician, joining us here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, on the Score 1260.
500
If you're a fan
pre-owned
of local
SUVs and
craft
trucks.
beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
500 pre-owned SUVs and trucks, all here at Drivers Village. Don't overpay for used elsewhere. DV aggressively reprices our used daily. You'll see the difference. Over 300 SUVs, 150 certified, hundreds under 25,000. And every DV pre-owned vehicle comes with a minimum 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty. That's why we're the choice for pre-owned. The Verdict Used Car and Truck Warehouse at Drivers Village. See why at dvused.com.
I was just talking to Kevin from Syracuse Haulers about how we love our Syracuse Haulers garbage men here at Cumulus Media. They always give us a wave. They're always very reliable. And business owners, are you having issues with your trash and recycling hauler? Well, let me tell you something. Give Syracuse Haulers a call today, 315-426-6771 or syracusehaulers.com. They'll have one of their account representatives stop by, give you a comprehensive quote for their service. Syracuse Haulers, service with integrity.
Get in the spirit.
Better.
Yeah, apparently for opening night, it was terrible. Hey, Pat. Hey, Jim. Cuse not the favorite in Maui. Yeah, I was looking at the odds, Jim. That's why I read off the list. I was looking at the odds on FanDuel.
Are they the ultimate underdog?
Yeah.
They're the worst. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Jim just sent me the odds.
I mean, how does Syracuse even get an invite to this
on
thing?
Twitter? Yeah, Syracuse is plus 2,800.
Oh.
UCLA is plus 1,200. No one else over 1,000.
It's like if they pay you to come to this thing, obviously, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They've wanted Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean,
they've done it for a couple years, though, right?
Yeah, we're one of the original Maui teams.
Okay.
Maui used to be like a nothing tournament that we would always play in because I think Boeheim just wanted to go to Hawaii.
Julie likes it out there.
Yeah, like, so we were one of the teams that, like, I don't want to say like started the Maui Invitational, but we were one of the original teams that would always go, and they still invite us. It's great.
I don't know what a Pythagorean win means.
I don't either.
Can we look that up? What is a Pythagorean win? The city called the Pythagorean win percentage takes its name from the famous geometric theorem and divides the square of a team's runs scored by the sum of the squares of the team's runs scored and runs allowed. Well, that's baseball.
That's baseball, Susan.
Can I get basketball? Show me basketball. And it gives an expected winning percentage using the ratio of a team's wins and losses are related to the number of points scored and allowed. Oh, so Pythagorean expected winning percentage formula equal points scored squared to the 16.5 divided by. I'm just an idiot.
There's way too much math in this.
I think it basically just means like, should you have won the game, and did you end up winning the game by as much as you should have won the game? Kind of like a covering win.
I guess. Yeah, that's sort of what it seems like.
How do you calculate? I mean, yeah, what the hell is that? I didn't do math. I didn't do science.
Oh,
I see brackets.
I did brackets, squares. Jeez.
Get the hell out of here.
I took math for 6 weeks in college and dropped it because I didn't need the credit. So
never took a math course in college.
Yeah, I
did it all in high school. Didn't do it again.
Yeah,
I've done it in like 10 years.
Yeah, I haven't really done math since senior year of high school.
Yeah, I haven't looked at a math problem in a decade.
Yeah,
It's troubling. This is the youth, baby.
Well, this is what happens when you go into broadcasting.
Are we still the youth?
No.
Still the youth?
No, we're old.
We got to be the youth.
I don't know.
25 and under?
I think we're old.
No.
Yeah.
Pat, tell me we're the youth.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Very pleased to be joined by deputy editor of noonsmagician.com, James Zuba. James, how are we doing today?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing good. Good to be with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on. I'm glad to be talking Syracuse basketball because it's been a long time, James. Every basketball offseason seems to get longer and longer. And this time we had a new coach coming in. How is the defense going to look? Are they going to play man? Are they going to play zone? We're 2 games in, and obviously New Hampshire and Canisius aren't exactly Duke and Kansas, but a couple of big, good wins for Syracuse early on in the season. What are your early thoughts on how this team looks under Red?
Yeah, they look like a team that's still working through some things during the preseason, but I think there's a lot to be encouraged about too. These guys have made improvements. Judah Mintz looks better. Quadir Copeland's taken a step. Kyle Cuff has looked good off the bench. So I think there's some good signs. It's also kind of emblematic of a younger team too. I don't think Syracuse has delivered the knockout blow. They've let these 2 first teams kind of hang around a little bit, but yeah, it's a young team. It's relatively inexperienced. So for them to get 2 double-digit wins, I think that's good. It's not great, but I think that's good, and they're off to a good start.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but we've got a big game coming up on Tuesday. I can't believe that Colgate's a big game now, James, but after the past 2 years, this is looking kind of like a must-win for Syracuse. There's no way we can let Colgate beat us 3 years in a row, right?
It's becoming an increasingly important game. Given the last 2 years, it'll be interesting because you would think that the shift to man-to-man would help Syracuse in this game, just because Colgate's come in and torched the zone.
Mm-hmm.
But we know they're a good team and they're well coached, so it's going to be interesting. But it's even more important this year with the Maui looming and given how tough and the tenor of that tournament. I think it's even more important for Syracuse to get on the right side of that game, just given it's probably the best, most loaded Maui Invitational ever.
Yeah, we were talking about the field for Maui earlier. It's absolutely stacked. We'll get to Maui in a second because I do want to talk about Syracuse going into that. But going into this Colgate game, help is on the way. Benny Williams back from a suspension that no one seems to know what it was for, when it officially started, when it was going to officially end. He was reinstated yesterday. Is there anything you can tell us about the suspension that Benny Williams just served?
No, I think for Autry, it makes sense that he would want to protect this program and protect his player and kind of keep that in-house. On the other side, though, I do think he has to give the media a little bit of something just to kind of dispel and maybe put down a little bit of speculation. We've seen a ton of speculation out there. But, yeah, I mean, for Benny, it's a tough game to come back for. Colgate, obviously, as we just talked about, Syracuse has lost the last 2 years in a row. So it's kind of a tough game to throw him back out there for. But certainly respect the decision of Red to, kind of protect this program and do what he thinks is right, not necessarily do what's best for the team and roll out a player who he felt needed to be punished. So I respect the move, and I think, for Syracuse, it'll be important to get him in that game and get him going before Maui.
Yeah, and it's funny. I never went on air and speculated what the reasons for the suspension were. I don't think there's really any place for that. There was no reason to get into it. But I was saying that we would have to start worrying if this got to Maui. If we got to the Maui Invitational and Benny Williams still was not part of the team, then that's when you really have to start worrying about, okay, what did this kid do exactly? I think the fact that he's coming back before Colgate means it was just what they said, a violation of team rules. No matter what that team rule was, it was nothing more serious than that. Would you say that's a correct assumption?
Yeah, that's fair. And if it's stretched beyond the Colgate game too, I mean, I would think, what didn't he do in the time since he's been suspended? So for Syracuse, and for Benny, more encouraging than worrying that he's back sooner rather than later.
We do have a lot of new faces on this team, James. You mentioned Kyle Cuff. We've got J.J. Starling, who people around here are familiar with, Beeville Kid. What have you thought of the new incoming players that we've seen for Syracuse so far early in this season?
Yeah, for JJ, obviously the talent's there. We know he's a tremendous talent. For him, I think he's still, trying to find his groove out there. But really good game. 8 of 15 in the last game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Those are the kinds of things that he's going to have to do. He hasn't really had to shoot the ball too much from the perimeter since we've seen, Syracuse tip off the season. So I'm kind of watching that a little bit. But yeah, he's obviously a really, really good talent. I think he's just going to get better the more comfortable he gets with the players around him and kind of understanding his role. But yeah, it's certainly encouraging for him to get off to a good start.
Naheem McLeod is very tall. That's just sort of what I've thought of him so far is this guy's 7'4". He strikes me as a guy that, can he play basketball? I know he's a junior, so he's got some experience, went to Florida State, but I mean, having a guy this big down low is something that Syracuse has needed for a number of years. And we finally got a guy that's just massive and plays such a big role on the defensive end and on the glass. Early impressions of him so far.
Yeah, can confirm Naheem McLeod is tall.
Very tall. He's a very tall man.
2-0 on the tips of the year. Has won both tip-offs. So that's something to watch. But yeah, for him, obviously, in the early going, like he's just going to be bigger than everybody. Tremendous asset to have. I think it's interesting. Autry's kind of gone to the zone a little bit when he comes back in for the second time. I think that's kind of something to monitor too. I don't know, he never really had to play heavy minutes at Florida State, and he's a bigger guy, so I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to, get upwards of 20 minutes a game. But certainly the height is a huge asset, as we saw kind of last game, him being able to go up there and disrupt some passes and disrupt some shots. It's a tremendous asset to have. I just worry about maybe if he's able to go for long distances and kind of in the man-to-man defense, teams are going to want to take him out on the perimeter and take him away from the rim.
Well, it's interesting, I don't know in terms of minutes what he'll be able to sustain, but then behind him, you've got Munir Hema, who's 6'11". You've got Peter Carey, who's 6'11". You have the freshman, William Patterson, who's 7'2". I don't remember SU having a group of centers this big, and then throwing Malik Brown, who can be your small ball 5. He's 6'8", but plays a lot bigger than that in terms of how he rebounds and defends. So personally, I don't remember a time where I was this happy with the size that SU had down low.
Yeah, the size certainly, and the ability to have depth at the center position, that's of great importance. The center group's pretty intriguing too, just because, we have seen Malik Brown play that backup center role. And then Peter Carey has seemingly been the third option at center, but he didn't play last game. And we've yet to see Munir Hema this season. So Will Patterson, obviously 7'2", is a freshman. Still probably trying to find his way within the team in college basketball, but tremendous upside, obviously, with his length and his ability. But I think the group is just intriguing because we don't really know what that third option is at center yet. And if it is Autry willing to go deeper? Last game he didn't go as deep into his bench.
We have seen someone who's been more of a scoring option this year, Justin Taylor, who has been shooting the lights out to start the season. I always thought that this guy would find his shot given the minutes, and in the absence of Benny Williams, he's been getting the minutes. Has Justin Taylor played himself into an even bigger role than we thought on the Syracuse team?
I think so. Yeah, he's made great strides with, in the off season working on his game, but also, just being able to come in and earn a starting spot. I think Benny Williams is coming back. I don't necessarily know if that means he's going to start the Colgate game, but when you look at the forward position, I think Justin does a lot of things that maybe Chris Bell hasn't done yet. Chris Bell's kind of been forcing it a little bit early in the early going, but I think for Justin, he's able to get on the glass and do a little bit more. So he's made some strides, and obviously in the early going, he's made some big shots, and I really like him too as an option going against the 2-3 zone, just kind of playing that high post and being able to knock down maybe a mid-range shot or dump it down low to the big.
Now, I do want to ask, you mentioned Chris Bell. Guy's 6'7". Are we going to get to a point where he learns how to rebound the basketball?
No. For all that Jim Boeheim gave him last year in the post-game presser, I do think that Chris Bell has to rebound a little bit better from the forward spot. He hasn't really been asked to do that before coming to college, so he's primarily a shooter. We know he can shoot the ball. We saw what he was able to do last year, but yeah, if he's going to carve out some heavy minutes and like he did last year, I think he's going to have to do just a little bit more in terms of the rebounding. We saw that offensive putback he had. He's got the ability. But, if Justin Taylor and him can kind of do the same thing shooting-wise, and Justin Taylor is going to be able to rebound the ball, I just think that gives you another reason to give Justin Taylor some more minutes there at that spot.
James, real quick before you head out, you alluded to Maui earlier. Everyone's looking forward to that coming up soon. What is a realistic expectation for this Syracuse team in Maui? Couple wins? Can they get a win here and there? I mean, 2 monster games to start off with Tennessee and Gonzaga. What's the outlook like for the Cuse?
I don't know if Syracuse is going to go above 500 in the event. It's a really tough ask.
Yeah.
Tennessee's a really good team. We saw them beat Michigan State in the preseason. They're going to have Zakai Ziegler back for that game. That'll be a tough matchup. And then on the other side, you've got Purdue and Gonzaga, who are 2 top 15 teams in the country coming into the year. So that'll be tough. You do like to think if Syracuse loses both those games, they probably get Chaminade in the last place game. Not obviously what you want.
Yeah.
But I do think, if there is a matchup with Gonzaga in that second round, I think it's a winnable game for Syracuse. I think they can compete much better than with Tennessee or Purdue in those first couple games. So Gonzaga just lost one of their starters for the year. They're down. They lost Julian Straw. I don't think they're as good as they've been in recent years. So if Syracuse gets that game, I kind of like them in that matchup. But it's, as we know, it's a loaded field, and it's going to be a tough ask. I did speak with Kyle Cuff in the preseason, though, and he really wants a matchup against Kansas. I don't know if Syracuse
I'm sure he does.
Kyle Cuff wants that.
I do want to ask, we've been talking about the first couple of games and what we've seen out of the guys. Going into the season, what was your expectation for this Syracuse team? Because people thought I was too lofty. I said the talent on this team can win 20 games. And ESPN predicted them for 10. Ken Palm had him at 9. I'm like, I thought the projections were ridiculous. What were you thinking about this team going into the season?
Yeah, I think those numbers are kind of skewed. They're backward looking. They're taking previous data.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily taking into account the talent that Syracuse has this year. So I'm with you. I think Syracuse can win 18 to 20 games this year and fight for a tournament bid. I just think they're really talented. Some of the projections, Syracuse is picked to finish 10th or 11th in the league. I don't think they'll finish that low.
No.
But, there's a lot of unknowns. There's a pretty gray area as to where this team could finish this year, just given where they've been, and Autry is a new head coach. But, no, I'm with you. I say Syracuse wins about 18 to 20 games, and they compete for a tournament berth.
All right, James, last one. I saw your tweet about it the other day. You can let it all out. The pregame spreads in the press box have been utterly disappointing so far this year. You can let it out. Voice your disappointments with the food options that we've had at the JMA Wireless Dome.
There's much room for improvement on the pregame media spreads. First game, I think there was rolled out, a candy bar. There's some granola in there and some Doritos.
Yep.
Hopefully everybody ate dinner before they came to that first game. So we'll see if there's any improvements made for the Colgate game. But it's the early season for all of us, guys. It's the early season, so nobody's pulling out all the stops just yet.
The fact that there was like one Reese's in there the day after Halloween, just atrocious. Where's the Halloween candy? I mean,
it was somebody's leftover Halloween candy.
Of course it was, but there couldn't have been more. One single candy bar.
They must have got hit heavy with the trick-or-treaters this year. I don't know.
James, thank you so much for joining. We'll definitely have you on again later in the season, sort of, probably mid-season, get a look at this SU team once again. Great talking to you as always, and have a good rest of your weekend, all right?
Sure, yeah, my pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on and keep me posted. I'd love to come back on at any time, so thank you, guys.
All right, there he is, James Zuba, deputy editor at noonsmagician.com. Timeout. We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Still need your flu shot? You could get it at no charge and get paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is seeking participants for paid vaccine studies in your area. Eligible participants can receive a flu shot at no cost and compensation for study-related time.
Yeah, the spread at the Dome the other day was just atrocious.
I mean, that's just.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It truly is.
Bigger secret why Benny was suspended or who plays quarterback today for Syracuse. Listen.
They still haven't announced if Schrader's healthy?
No.
Jesus. Do they have a third? They don't even have a third one, do they? They probably do. But not.
Yeah, I don't even know who the
red
third
shirt.
string quarterback is. I'm going to be honest with you. They might throw Dan Villari out there, starting tight end.
Just run the Wildcat with LaQuint Allen and do not let Del Rio touch a ball today.
Here's the thing. Their tight end, Dan Villari, was a quarterback in Michigan.
All right, he's in. Next man up mentality.
Transferred to Syracuse. They made him a tight end. That shows how good he was at QB.
Next man. Wow. Yeah, Michigan, he played QB, and then Syracuse was like, I don't know, buddy.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't play QB.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh saw him and was like, you're a quarterback, son.
West Hill lost in the soccer state semifinals yesterday.
Is that where the guy that we talked to plays?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they lost to Aquinas.
That's us, Faye.
Yeah.
There you go. Fighting Irish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You went to Aquinas.
No,
right?
no, I didn't.
Oh, no.
But it's funny. They're Catholics. Go Catholic stuff. Go, woo, fighting Irish. Take it. I can't say
Hey, we're not on the air. We're only on the stream. I can't say suck it, can I?
Mark.
No.
I'm gonna drop that one Adam used to work the other day. Take it until you bunch of.
I can't believe that.
I was telling Emily in the car right over here, talking about it. He goes, all your friends are autistic. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, that's right. We got sectionals today and tomorrow.
Pat, you're looking beautiful out there today. Don't know what you look like today, but I just know.
Pat's always looking beautiful.
Just don't wear that stupid hat that Mark wore last week.
You son of a...
It was a good hat.
It's a good hat.
It's a great hat.
I like the hat.
It's a good hat. It's a hat. My ancestors. The hat.
And son in the motherland.
We've had that hat for 13 years.
We're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Do want to talk a little bit about some high school sports. West Hill was in the state semifinals for boys soccer. Went down yesterday to Aquinas of Rochester. Josh is a happy man.
Little fight Irish. Come on now, boys. Bunch of dogs out there down at ROC. Come on now.
1-0. Victory over West Hill. Aquinas on Syracuse.com listed as 2-0 on the season, so good for them. They automatically qualified for the state tournament without playing a game, apparently, according to Syracuse.com.
They're one of those nice high schools that recruit students. A lot of people hate them, to be honest with you, as a Rochester kid. Aquinas sucks. I'm sorry, West Hill.
They are one of those high schools that they actively recruit.
Yes.
There's a couple around here that do.
Yeah.
West Hill, a good season for them, though. Winning the section, they went 15-2-3 on the season, 10-1-1 in the league play. So shout out to West Hill soccer. We've got some sectional final games today in the world of football. First one starting at noon. We've got West Canada Valley taking on Frankfurt Schuyler. That's the 8-man sectional championships. You know, Braylon's talked about that. Bishop Grimes and teams like that play 8-man football. So they have their own league, and their sectional final is today at noon. Mount Markham against Dolgeville. That's at 3 o'clock. And at 6 p.m., East Syracuse Manoa at Whitesboro. That'll be the finals for the Class A sectional championships. 3 more of them tomorrow.
Okay.
Being played, by the way, I should mention, at the JMA Wireless Dome. Adirondack and General Brown in Class C. New Hartford and Indian River in Class B. And Double A, the big boys.
Oh.
The ones that everyone thought would be there. Cicero North Syracuse Christian Brothers Academy.
Oh,
CNS, CBA, 6 o'clock. Massive game. It's Sunday. There's going to be NFL football on. I don't care. I'm watching that game.
They got it on the local station?
Yeah, yeah. It'll be on local television.
There you go.
So sectional finals tomorrow. CNS, CBA, huge matchup at the JMA Wireless Dome. CBA last week, in the sectional semifinals, lucked into a home game.
Oh, right.
It's
right.
meant to be on a neutral site. Lucked into a home game because the dome was busy. They had a football game.
Tough scheduling there.
Yeah, real tough scheduling. But the dome not busy this weekend because Syracuse does have a game today.
Is that right?
At 3:30.
Okay.
It is technically a home game. It's in Yankee Stadium against Pitt.
Oh, yeah, 100 years.
100 years of football at Yankee Stadium. As you called it earlier, the house that Jim Brown built. That's as Josh referred to it as before the show.
Who's that Herman guy?
Yeah, the George Herman Ruth.
I never get his name
Ruthie.
right.
Yeah,
He's got the candy bar.
Yeah, he's got the candy bar, exactly, like in the Sandlot. The Baby Ruth. So yeah, we were playing at Yankee Stadium this afternoon. We don't know who's playing quarterback for Syracuse. Garrett Schrader hurt. Carlos Del Rio Wilson hurt. Don't know if either of them are healthy enough to play today. We got a transfer from South Carolina, who I think is the 3rd string quarterback.
Could just be a real train wreck today, Mark.
It could, but here's the thing. Carlos Del Rio Wilson last week was ranked 114th out of 115 qualified quarterbacks.
Oh, and he looked it. I'm sorry, Carlos, but it was tough
bad
to watch.
It was really tough to watch. You know who was last?
The other guy. Oh, the Pitt guy.
Yeah, Pitt's quarterback. Yeah. So we've got, if Carlos Del Rio Wilson plays, the 2 lowest qualified quarterbacks in Division I college football facing off. But Dino has not released anything. We don't know who's starting at quarterback.
That's shocking. Dino, big media guy. I'm surprised he didn't tell us. I know.
The university, they just refuse to tell us anything.
And we love it. And we love it. We come back. We're cynics.
Yeah, we are. We just keep coming back to it because they'll drop a crumb every once in a while. Yeah. It's like
love a crumb.
I want the full meal. You know, they give me a crumb to keep me coming back. I'm waiting for the full meal. I'll never get it.
No.
So this is also a metaphor for Syracuse football's play on the field.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a metaphor for my girlfriend. She does the same thing. Give me crumbs. Never gives me the big one.
That was good.
Thanks.
It's a good joke.
Well,
but yeah, this is
come on.
This is talking about Syracuse's ability to not give the media anything while also keeping us coming back, and also, like I said, their play on the field. And their play on the field today starts at 3:30. 2-7 Pitt against 4-5 Syracuse. Pitt is a 3-point favorite. You know what the total is in this game?
34.
37.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is brutal.
That's low. I mean, that's Big Ten low.
That's
tough.
That's Big Ten West low. That's Iowa low.
Legitimately, though, I mean, Syracuse defense is pretty good. I don't know about Pitt's defense at all.
Yeah.
But if that guy's as bad as the, what was it, ranking? FBI?
115.
If he's that bad, they could just dominate defensively today. I mean,
Why
not?
Christian Velou is his name.
They look good against these. I mean, Florida State last week, they played really well again. I mean, they gave up 17 points.
Yeah.
That's a solid week for defensively and like 3 turnovers. They're great.
You mean Boston College?
Yeah,
Played
that's right.
Boston College last
I
week.
said Florida State.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
If
sorry.
we only gave up 17
Yeah.
points to Florida State, that would have been I would have counted that as a win.
Yeah.
That I'm putting that one in the win column. Yeah, we didn't mention Boston College, yes, beating us 17-10 last week.
Mhm.
Syracuse falling below 500. Jim asks, how does SU get to 6 wins in a bowl? I don't think they do.
Start praying. Jim, are you a religious man?
Jim, have you found our Lord and Savior? Because I don't know, man. They got a win today.
Yes, it starts today.
It starts today.
We thought it started. We told you last week that it started in the Dome against Boston College.
No,
it didn't start that.
it
Jim.
starts in the house that Jim Brown built, Yankee Stadium, because it isn't too bad for Syracuse moving forward schedule wise.
What's after Pitt?
It's Pitt, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest is gonna be tough.
Wake Forest isn't that good though.
They beat Duke, didn't they?
Did they?
I thought they beat Duke, or they played a really close game with Duke.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
They're 4-5 on the season. No, they lost to Duke, but yeah, it was 24-21.
Oh,
They were
okay.
right in it.
How'd they beat?
Only conference win they have is Pitt.
Okay, so Pitt's it. This is a must win.
This is an absolute
Jimbo?
must win.
This one you need.
You need this one, and then it's one of those things. SU wins today. When I said Pitt 3-point favorite, if SU wins today, you just got to go 1-1 down the stretch against Georgia Tech and Wake Forest, which should be
Doable.
a simple task.
It's almost like I think the only reason I think it's so hard is just because of last year. You saw it with the great undefeated stretch, and then the team just dies.
Yeah.
The team just gives up, even at the end of the Boston College game. Just stupid penalties.
It
Just like guys getting chippy, they're not into it, they're upset. Like especially like even defensively, they're just like, what are we doing? We're out here, we're busting our buns, we're trying our hardest. And it doesn't mean anything because I watch my quarterback go out there and turn the ball over 4 times.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough, and the coaching in that game wasn't great.
No.
By any means.
No.
It certainly wasn't Dino's finest hour.
It's impressive that LaQuinn Allen looked so good when they knew the only way to move the ball was to run it.
Yeah,
And he still looked good. He's so good.
He's good.
He's very good.
There's a guy on the Syracuse offense that we can say is good.
He's the only reason I want to watch games.
Yeah.
Is to watch LaQuinn Allen get the ball.
Yeah, and you know he's going to.
Run the Wildcat today. All day.
I think they should. I think they got a better chance.
Yes. Honestly. Can he throw?
Jim says SU is 114th in penalties per game out of 130 schools. Pitt is 126th.
Oh, buddy. We are in for one today.
This is Sicko's committee on Twitter. Are they watching this game?
Oh, yeah.
This has got to be on Sicko's watch.
Gotta be.
SU Pitt at Yankee Stadium. No one's got a quarterback. Both teams stink. Both teams commit way too many penalties. This is a Sicko's committee game of the week if there ever was one. And I'm gonna watch it for whatever reason. 3:30.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be watching it, and I'm not gonna like a single second of what I see. but
I'll be there.
I'll be watching, man. Yeah, Jim just mentioned again, game total 37.5. That is like an Iowa game.
It just everything tells you under. Don't overthink it.
I would also like to mention Syracuse, only team in the ACC without a conference win.
Yikes. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's real bad.
That's not great. Pitt has one. Who did Pitt beat?
Probably Boston College.
It was probably like, Boston College or Wake Forest.
Feeder. Yeah.
No, they beat Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah, Louisville's good.
Yeah.
So good win for them. Pitt has 2 wins all season: Wofford and Louisville.
Oh God, they only do it. This should be a win. Syracuse. I think the line is just indicative of not knowing who's playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Like if Garrett Trader plays, they're probably a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, last week when he went out, it was about 3 points. I mean, he's legitimately worth a field goal.
Yeah,
he's that good, or not that good, but he's that valuable to his team.
Iowa Rutgers today is at 27.5.
Oh no, 27.5. Is that a lie? I gotta look.
The-
20. Who's Jim? I
Jim,
trust Jim. If it was
J-
Pat,
it
I
was
don't
Jim.
believe
It was Jim.
27 and
I'm
a
gonna
half?
double check that right now. There's no way.
I mean, now that the OC from Iowa has just called it, I mean, I guess, but oh my God.
It is. It's 27 and a half.
4 touchdowns. A touchdown a quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, are they playing in the snow? Is this what's the
They're in Iowa City, baby. Home game for the 22 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes.
now? Mind you, Rutgers actually pretty good too.
Yeah, Rutgers
Iowa's
6 and
sneaky.
3, Iowa 7 and 2, and the
Oh.
total's at 27 and a half.
No, Cade McNamara's not going to play. He's hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
They have their backup quarterback. That's why.
Mhm.
Oh, this ain't good. Well, yeah, last week Iowa won 10-7. I forgot that
Yeah.
against Northwestern.
Yep.
In Wrigley Field.
Yes, in Wrigley. That's right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a snooze fest. Wow, that is the low. I think that's one of the lowest totals I've ever seen.
I did see it opened at 28 and a half. I thought it was going to go up. It's actually gone down. It opened at 28 and a half, and it
Oh,
was the lowest recorded total in the history of college football, like betting. Like
that's crazy.
since since official lines started being put out in like 40 years ago or whatever. It's the lowest total.
Where were you when the under 27.5 hit
If-
in Iowa and Rutgers today?
I'm not saying I'm considering
You know
it.
how many fools out there are just going 27 points? I can score 27 points in college football. Of course, they're going to score 27.
Final score is 7-3.
Right. Iowa can't move the ball at all. Their offense does suck. That guy deserved to be fired.
Yeah.
All fun and games, the most fun incentive, whatever.
Yeah.
He stinks. I mean, I'm sure they're not recruiting a lot of heavy hitters in Iowa. Their tight ends are really good normally.
Yeah.
Without Cade, I'm sure they just stink.
Mm-hmm.
That offense looks terrible
Yeah.
constantly.
Their offense is so bad.
Jeez, the whole team is 27.5. I can't get. I thought that was a lie. I thought he was fibbing.
No,
Wow.
that's the line.
wow.
And it's by the way, it's Iowa -1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
I like that.
I kind of like.
I mean,
that too.
Iowa's just better. I mean, they stink. They stink. But Rutgers also stinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iowa's ranked. Yeah.
Yeah,
22nd.
22nd.
There you go.
It's somehow.
I mean, they have 7 wins. They're
It-
7-2.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like
They're first. They're gonna make a Big Ten championship game.
yeah, they're gonna win the Big Ten West.
Yeah.
And just get slaughtered by Michigan
That's right.
or Ohio State.
Without Jim Harbaugh.
I don't know, man.
Well, actually, wait. He only got suspended for the 3 regular season games. Yeah. So he can coach in the Big Ten championship game.
Oh yeah, probably.
I don't know. Even
Yeah.
then, he's coaching the whole time. It's so stupid. Like it's just,
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know why
just not
Michigan-
allowed to be on the sidelines, but he can still like call plays or something. Like
Yeah, I don't think he can be in the. It was talk that he could be in the booth, which
Yeah.
would be it'd be beyond silly that that's even a thing.
yeah,
It's almost like they just wanted to give him some sort of slap on the wrist, and Michigan fans still find a way to be obnoxiously upset about it.
hmm
And it's really just not a big deal. I mean, we talked about it before the show started, but like, you just cheated a
Yep.
little bit. Like, honestly, I told you, like, everything they did up to the Connor Stallions part, fine.
Yeah, you don't care.
Videotape sidelines, I don't care about any of that. It happens. I'm sure
Mhm.
it happens everywhere. Fine. But getting a guy from your program and paying for him to literally spy like an old school. I mean, it's like we said, it's like
Yeah,
a movie.
it's like a sports movie bit where that happens, and you're like, oh no team would
This
ever
never
do that.
happen. How
That
would
would
they
never
not
happen.
know?
Yeah, how? There's so many steps you would have to go through to get that guy on the opposing sideline.
And bango. They
And
did it.
They did it.
That's a problem. to me.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's some college football talk. We
There you go.
just divulged into Iowa totals, and Jim did ask better off or worse offense. Iowa, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They talk about a pick 'em.
Jeez. You know what? Hand to God, I was wrong about them. I said everywhere before the season, I'm like, I love this offense coming in. New OC, Pickett's better, Pickens, all the whole 9. Stonehands was out for 6 weeks, so I'll give him a little bit of slack. But he's still
Stonehands Johnson,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, he can't catch balls. But
No.
their offense is really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
I am a known Najee Harris hater. I think that guy stinks.
I mean, it's tough. It's a bad look that their offense was really good his rookie year, his offensive line. And
Yeah.
he did good.
Well, here's
and
the
then
thing.
he just is
He
fine.
had a ton of yards at like 3.2 yards per clip. They
Yeah.
just ran him so much that
Yep.
you run anyone that much, they're gonna get yards.
me.
Yeah, I think we give you the
I can
rock
tunnel.
40 times a game, like they were doing to Najee Harris. Yeah,
I get
you'll
120.
yeah,
I'll
you'll-
pick up 120.
you'll get some yards, but
I'm not a big juker in space, but you put me, I'm a I'm a vertical. I
Yeah,
run
you're-
vertical. I put my head down. I'm Mike Tolbert-esque. That's my comp.
yeah, Mike Tolbert.
Now I got about 6 inches on Tolbert, but
Yeah,
about the same weight. We're ready to go. Let's pound it.
let's do it. We're gonna run Josh up the gut and see what happens.
Yeah, let us know if you want to see that. We'll reach out to a program this year and put me in pads and just get creamed. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I'd get creamed for a video
this is like my idea that I had that I still want to make happen.
with the
and-
baseball.
Yeah, and people let me know if they would want to see this. I want to see if they would let me go through like a tryout for the Syracuse Mets.
Do it.
That
You
would
gotta
be
get it.
so fun. I mean, just embarrass myself on camera. But yeah, I mean, throw me in the outfield, throw me on the mound, but
You think
taking BP.
You think they'd bean you?
Oh,
Like if
yeah.
they threw a bit, they'd be like, "This guy stinks."
Oh,
hate
yeah.
The media, they'd throw at you.
They'd hit me in the head.
I think they'd get you to back off a little bit.
Oh yeah,
They'd throw behind you or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. They definitely do that to screw with me. But I think that would be just hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And listen, I played baseball, kind
Sure.
of. I guess you can call it playing. 6 at bats over the course of my varsity career.
Oh,
but I was a baseball player, so I wouldn't make too much of a fool of myself.
We'll even let you use a composite bat. You can use a metal. You use a composite.
I use a BSR bat. I show up with an illegal metal bat and I'm just hitting nukes.
You gotta sign this guy.
Yeah,
coach.
they put wood in my hand. Yeah, ground ball to shortstop every single time.
Your hands are. Gee,
Yeah.
why does it do that every time? It stings.
Yeah,
You guys play with no gloves. You guys are animals. How do you do that? He was always a weirdo to me when I was growing up, and I'm like, he doesn't use batting gloves. What a freak!
yeah,
What a freak! Just loves pain.
yeah. There's a few guys in the bigs that do it still.
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker does it.
Okay.
I didn't know many guys that went no batting gloves. I think Pat went no batting gloves for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Metal's a little different though.
Yeah,
But it
you
still
got the
stings
you
on
got the
end,
grip,
so-
but yeah, I mean, you get jammed on an April day in
Oh, yeah.
Syracuse, New York. You're feeling it.
Oh yeah.
I actually know a couple people that broke metal bats.
Really?
Yeah,
I never heard that.
yeah. Like one of the 2-piece bats, you
Yep.
catch it just at the right spot with a hard enough
on.
pitch and the perfect swing. Bat just snaps in half.
That's a danger.
Oh,
see a
yeah.
metal bat flying over at your third base.
Duck and cover, my friend.
Yeah.
Duck and cover. We do have to take a timeout. Phone lines open 315-671-1260. If you want to chime in, call during the break. We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. You need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
Destiny USA is your indoor holiday headquarters, and this year is more magical than ever.
Yeah. Jim says more points today. SU Pitt total or USC Oregon first quarter.
Hey, so did you see Michael Thomas got arrested yesterday?
No.
The Saints wide receiver?
Yeah.
This guy quote tweeted and said Carr might have the greatest arrested wide receiver room of all time. Antonio Brown,
Yep.
Michael Thomas, Olave, and Henry Ruggs. Might just be the greatest
Greatest convict wide receiver room of all time.
Oh yeah. You see, now we're on the YouTube. So I can say it. Do you see Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah.
They asked him. The question was pretty simple. What are your thoughts on
Latino women?
I
love
love them.
Stephen A. is too randy for his own good.
Just loves women,
Just,
as he should.
I don't disagree.
I love how honestly too. And he knows it too. The Sunday conversation with him is the best. We say it
Oh,
every
yeah.
time we bring it up, but they're like,
Yeah.
all he says is horny, and that little smirk he gives is just
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
just great.
He gets it.
Yeah, he plays along with it. It's fun.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. Thoughts on Latino women? I love them.
I've heard of him.
Giants plus 17.5 with touchdown Tommy DeVito worth a look.
No,
Listen, that's a lot of points.
They
man.
won't score a point.
I think
Market.
they'll score.
They got shut out week 1 with Daniel Jones. Their defense. I mean, they're not scoring more than 10 points.
No.
Does Dallas score 4 touchdowns? Probably. In my mind.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's a lot of points. It's just not worth it. Jim, by 6 o'clock tomorrow, you can tune into the CNS game over on Spectrum because that game's going to be a blowout in Dallas. In Dallas, too, this time.
Oh, it is in Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was in New York week 1 where they got shut out. That is going to be a stomp. I'm excited. I mean, I'm going home to watch it with my folks. It's like, why? This is the game I decided to go home for? Who cares?
Outside the box score, what's
should
your
be
name?
at
Where you
least.
calling from?
5-3. I mean, come on now.
All right, Tom. I'll throw you on hold.
Oh, yes, Fatty. Got a call.
Tom from the Valley.
TheScore1260.com to get that special somebody what they really want. The RJ Graham Golf Management Golf Card. Only $40. That's 50% savings.
We're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Jump over to the phone lines. We've got Tom from the Valley calling in. Tom, how we doing?
How we doing, box score? Happy Saturday. Happy game day.
Happy game day, my friend. What's on your mind?
Listen, calling from Stan Sports Bar up in the Bronx. We're getting ready for a great day of football.
So you're in the Bronx right now. I take it you'll be attending the SU Pitt game at Yankee Stadium.
I sure will. Section 234. We're ready for it. I think Syracuse is going to win this one.
Do you?
I think they're due. I think
I mean,
think it's going to be low scoring, but I mean.
Oh, you don't think this one's going to be a shootout, Tom?
Listen, I hate to say it, but I don't think it's going to be a shootout.
That's a fair assessment. Like we said, the total for this game is 37.5. One of the lower totals on the slate this week. So yeah, you think SU is going to win? Do you have a score prediction for us, Tom?
Well, I'm going to say, let's go 21-17 Pittsburgh. Sorry. Syracuse.
Hold on a second. You're saying SU is going to win, and then you give Pitt this good Tom.
Sorry. Brain fog there.
All right, so 21-17 Syracuse win. You think Syracuse is going to score 3 touchdowns? That's bold. Two defensive.
Listen, anything can happen.
Tom, does it alarm you that you don't know who's playing quarterback yet for the Qs?
Kind of.
I think it's you, Tom. I think they're calling you up. They're going to get you out there.
I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
This is your Rudy moment, Tom.
It's like all the temporary hills in the Bronx right now. It's my home. We're going to go out there, and I'm going to score 3 touchdowns. And take the Adirondack Trailways back home.
Is there a group that went down? Is all of Tip Hill down there with you?
There's a lot of Tip Hill people. Saw them at the bar earlier.
Oh, love it. I absolutely love it. Well, Tom, enjoy the game. Always a pleasure to hear from you.
Always a pleasure to talk to you boys. Go Qs, and let's hope for a win today.
Let's hope for a win today. Have a good one, Tommy, all right?
Cheers, boys. Bye.
There he is, Tom from the Valley, calling from Sam's Sports Bar in the Bronx. Now, we can't go to Sam's Sports Bar today, but
I wouldn't want to.
When we're in Syracuse, like I did last night, we can go to a little place called Myers Creek Brewing Company.
I love that place.
I stopped by the Inner Harbor location last night, had a couple of beverages, delicious as always.
Maybe a diplomatic strategic?
The diplomatic's gone.
Well,
I was talking to Timmy, the bartender, and I was like, Tim, my diplomatic, where is it? He's like, Mark, I hate to break it to you. It might be gone for a while.
Well, that's not a problem, though, Mark, because they got 18 specialty brews.
16.
That's right. They got 2 gone. They took them out.
They do have 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. That's right. I did try, I had to consume a Velvet Fog last night.
Mel Torme.
I did have a Velvet Fog. I had a another IPA called Just a Bit Outside.
Okay.
Yes, that's the name, just spelled with 4 U's.
Love that.
I had that. I was trying all sorts of different brews. They had like 4 on there that I had never had, so I had to change that.
You know, Mark, we always talk about their beer, but they got good food there. Too.
They've
The
got
pizzas
really good food.
are fantastic.
Pizza award-winning wings.
Oh yeah,
Literally called the best wings in Syracuse like
That,
2 years ago.
just the salt and pepper wings.
Oh,
great.
the salt and pepper, fantastic. Their house wings with their house buffalo sauce, delicious. They've got a beef on weck on the menu, which is very good. So great food, great beer, great atmosphere. Like I said, I was at the Inner Harbor last night, but if you haven't checked out the palatial estate out there in Cazenovia,
it's a monster.
It is massive. Josh went out there with me one day.
Yep.
It's a absolutely gorgeous spot. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar and beer of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
All Mattress Express location.
Oh, almost forgot to take us out of Maine there. We almost just went on the air.
Good. Yeah, let's just talk over the ads.
Yeah.
Let's just talk over them. These ads stink anyways. These aren't our ads.
They're not our ads.
Who cares? Bob Johnson? Stick it. What is this?
Billy Whitaker.
Yeah, he's a jack. I can say jack. He's a jack. Find this. I mean, Syracuse +3. You just take the points because they're giving you a field goal.
For me, if I was going to bet that, I would just take them straight.
Yeah,
Just take the money line. Because if I like them to cover 3, I tend to like them to win.
Yeah, and they're gonna. I mean, the under I think is the play too.
Oh yeah, the under's a lot.
There's no way. I mean, literally, the defense would have to score 2 or 3 touchdowns for that over to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just so bad that things just go crazy.
Yeah.
Like broken plays, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
1-hour jump passes for the price of 2. Be quick because these will sell fast.
And we're back, wrapping up another fun-filled hour here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Do want to end the show with a quick little shout-out to all the veterans out there.
You beat me to it. I was going to be like, Mark, are you a patriot?
We've got to do it. Today is Veterans Day, so a big thank you to all the servicemen and women out there that have served our country, kept our freedom intact, always appreciative of all the things that they have done for us. And will continue to be appreciative every day, not just on this Veterans Day.
Go get your free food. Texas Roadhouse, big old free everywhere. One day a year, we really honor you. So go get it.
You go get your free meals. It's as I come from. There's a lot of military in my family. Both my grandparents served. Uncles, cousins, got a lot of military background in my family. So. Always very appreciative of the veterans, like I said, every day, not just on Veterans Day, but today is a very special day where we do get to shout them out even more than we normally do. If Army's playing football today, bet them.
Just the Army. The Navy's
the Air Force, Navy, maybe not.
We know what branch Mark's from. That's all right.
Well, I mean, they are all Army, like essentially. But maybe not the Coast Guard, especially in basketball. They lost by like 60 to Quinnipiac.
I didn't even know they were actually an armed force. Like they had athletics at the Coast Guard.
Yeah, in Quinnipiac's first game in basketball, they beat the Coast Guard by like 60.
Well, that's the way to honor the vets. What better way?
I said it. The question must be begged: is Quinnipiac anti-troop?
Apparently, by the way, I found out that if you join an armed forces academy
Mhm.
and you're there during an active war and you leave no matter what, if you're counted as an accruant veteran, like you're a veteran.
Oh, really?
So like Shane Gillis, it was a post from
Oh,
him
yes.
where
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had joined West Point to play football.
Mhm.
He was there for a week and then left.
Mhm.
And he's technically a veteran.
Oh,
It's crazy.
that's very interesting. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for our show today. Thank you to Josh. Thank you
thanks.
to Tom from the Valley, Jim in the chat, and James Zuba, deputy editor of Noon's Magician, for joining us today. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. Peace.
Drive home with Maggie and Perloff. Afternoons 3 to 6 on WSKO Syracuse.